transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Bill. This is Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, and we're having a Sunday hangout today. Let me run to the comments real quick, see who all's in the house today. Bjorn Jorgensen came in. Shambalak's my friend. Good to see you. Shaitan's Hammer came in early today as well. Good to see you. And going on down the line, let's see who all else has shown up today. No Way Farms in the house. Good to see you, No Way Farms. And No Way wants to know how Eduardo is doing. And Largo's letting everybody know that Eduardo is in fine form today. Going on down the line, Gojitron is here. He says D&D opening time, stand by with hot water, hair dryer, and crazy glue. Hopefully not. Figuratively speaking says hello. Hello's figuratively speaking. Good to see you. Everything's plastic collectibles and reviews. Hey, Chris. Good to see you in the house today. And I think that catches me up. And I'm going to switch over to my laptop cam because this one here is a little out of sync. There we go. That's a little better. Let me go ahead and bring Largo in. Largo, how's it going, my friend?
Fair to meddling. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. The real question is if NECA figures are more fragile. Good question. We're going to find out today, folks. We're going to find out. And right before I started the show, I was doing a last minute little bit of prep because there was one thing that I forgot to download and get uploaded onto StreamYard, but I've got it and I'm going to show it here before we get started. Let's see. Shaden Hammer says I'd get these if I didn't need to worry about them shattering. Well, to address Shaitan real quick on that one, I was not going to invest myself in this line. I had told myself I wasn't. I told everybody I didn't care. But on the last toy hunt that we did, which is filmed, it's on the channel. My wife saw them and she got them, and I couldn't help myself. I had to get that, and I do want to show something real quick before we get started. Let me just real quick. I'd like you guys to take a look at this. Before these figures came out, these PVC figures were the closest thing that we ever got to having Dungeons and Dragons cartoon figures. And these were never released in the United States. I think they were released overseas, either Spain or Portugal. And they go for a pretty fair penny on eBay. I wanted to get them one time years ago. And even back then, the price was just outrageous and unattainable. But I did want to show these off because I know a lot of people are wondering if they ever actually did produce any figures for this cartoon series. And there they are, folks. They actually did do it. But they weren't released over here. Now, if anybody, Gojitron, maybe knows the history and background of those PVC figures, please do sound off there in the chat and let us know. And when the show's over, folks, hit the comment box down below the video once it becomes available to you, and leave comments on your memories of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon show, and your thoughts on the figures and how the day went. Now let me run over here, and I know I'm just talking, but I want to get some of this housekeeping done before we get started. Real quick shout out. I want to shout out these Patreons. Thank you so much to the Patreons. You guys are keeping the lights on. If you don't have the wherewithal to become a Patreon, I do have a link at the top of the comment box pinned so that you can send a small tip. Anything would help. $1, $2, $5, whatever you can afford. I would appreciate that, because all this money goes back into the show, and I do want to buy some better equipment so that I don't keep taxing my CPU to the point to where I have to resort to all kinds of different measures, or something like this happens, where I max headroom out. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm using this crappy laptop. But anyway, let's run over and catch up on the comments real quick. The Wizard looks good. Both cartoon and board game. No Way Farm says D&D with friends was way better than anything someone else could make, in my opinion. And Adam just always good to see you, that you showed up. And without further ado, before we get started today, I wanted to show this before we got started, because this is what it was all about. One of my favorite cartoon shows.
Yep, that was an interesting cartoon back in the day. Definitely enjoyed that. Looks like Goji may have an
Didn't mean for it to
idea.
loop like that. That was the cartoon show. I'm just curious. I've been taking up so much time. What were your thoughts on the D&D cartoon and what's going on with this?
I enjoyed it. It was kind of one of those things where, Saturday mornings they kind of mixed and matched between goofy, really dumb like Snorks and all that kind of stuff, and then cool ones like D&D and Black Star. So you kind of had to flip between, the big three at the time. It was either ABC or NBC or CBS who had the cooler cartoon at what hour, and then trying to schedule your time in between grabbing bowls of cereal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And Gojitron says that he believes that I'm correct. The PVCs were from Spain. He had a similar set of all the Filmation Ghostbuster characters, and they were very popular, those types of PVC figures in Europe. Yeah, they reminded me of the Smurfs figurines, if you remember those from back in the day. I think they still make those, as a matter of fact. And Ian Sweeney just showed up. Radical Toy says, I like D&D, but for me, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. So much going on to choose from. Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of cartoon shows. I really liked the D&D cartoon show, and the history behind that. Gary Gygax was having a lot of trouble over there at TSR, and he had gone to Hollywood to try to get this off the ground, to try to make TSR some money so they could continue producing products. And that's where they got the idea. And I think Marvel Studios was the one that was doing that. And of course, by the time he got back from Hollywood after getting all this started, the Blooms had already taken over and started pushing them out. So there's a long story behind that as well, if you want to research that.
yep, it's pretty interesting. Kind of went through that transition of the time between hand-drawn animation and computer animation was just starting to pick up.
Mm-hmm. They still do make Smurfs. That was his first collection. Let's see. Radical Toys says, "Do you guys remember the California Raisins?" Absolutely. I actually have the first 4 California Raisins figures that were released as a promotion at Hardee's when they were promoting their cinnamon raisin biscuit from back in the day, and that's kind of neat. And those were very popular, and there was a whole lot of them released. But the first 4, in my opinion, were the most desirable ones. Let's see what Ian Sweeney says real quick. Really enjoyed the D&D cartoon. I always thought the intro ranked up alongside He-Man. It was pretty good intro, and it kind of was. It was a quick 1-minute intro that gave you everything that you needed to know about what was going on and why these kids were there. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And Bowie Hicks enjoyed the car. Bjorn says a bunch of California raisins at his job. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let me go ahead and get the toy cam up so you guys can see what I've got going on over here. The 3 figures that you see over there, Diana, Bobby with Uni, and Hank, I picked up at Walmart in a toy hunt. When we got home, my wife was upset because the Venger and the Dungeon Master weren't there, and I had to let her know. I said, "Well, they're not going to be at Walmart." She said, "Why?" I said, "Well, those are Target exclusive figures, and you can only buy them at Target." And she said, "Well, we'll never be going to Target anytime soon, and they'll probably all be sold out when we get there." And so I was like, "I can get them. Let me run over to Target online and see if they're still available." And they were. And believe it or not, it took less than 5 days for Target to send those in. And I was very pleased with that. I have not opened any of these figures yet. We'll get started in just a minute. And Largo and I were talking about the availability of the D&D cartoon series on DVDs. And what I have here is 2 DVD sets. The first one is the first release that came out. This was by Ink and Paint. The back looks really nice. It comes in a red box reminiscent of the old red box set of basic D&D, if you remember. I love this cover. And opening up the box, you get the inside here. That has the 5 DVD set inside here, which includes some line art, a map of the realm here on the back, very neat, and it's got a lot of extras and stuff on it as well. I'll go over that in just a sec, but this was the most interesting part of it was the animated series handbook, which was a small booklet. I think it was in 3.5, if I'm not mistaken. Some of you guys may know what version of D&D that they use, but every character has its own write up that gives full stats for these characters. What's very interesting is looking at the stats. Hank the Ranger has 14 strength, and he's actually a human ranger. Eric the Cavalier has an 18 strength. He's stronger than Hank, and he is a human fighter, level 7. And going along, we got Diana the Acrobat, who is not an acrobat but a human monk. Very interesting, the character classes that were chosen for these characters, and all of their magical items are covered. Like Presto the Magician has a hat of many spells. Looking at Presto's stats here, he's got a strength of 11, and he has an intelligence of 20. So he's very, very, very smart. And here we have Sheila the Thief, who is actually a human rogue. That was the character class name. They changed it from Thief to Rogue. I think that change happened in 2nd edition. Bobby the Barbarian, who is a actual barbarian class character, has a strength of 19, and he has the Thunder Club. So Bobby's stronger than everybody. And then here's the lovely little unicorn Uni. And then over here is the adventure. There was a complete adventure that you could play out. It included maps and everything that you needed um, to play out this adventure, except for the three main rule books. And although Venger didn't feature in the mini adventure, they did give full stats on Venger. Venger is a half-fiend human sorcerer, and level 13, and he's also an archmage level 5. And they give full stats on him as well, and all of the spells that he possesses and everything. It's very neat. And even his main lackey, the Shadow Demon, gets his right up in here. And then on the last page here in the back is that map of the realm that was also on the DVD insert there in the box. And then it also included the episode guide, which gives write-ups on each of the episodes and which discs that they appear on. And it also includes the special features, a 32-minute documentary entering the realm of Dungeons and Dragons, two commentary tracks, full-length animated storyboard, and interactive episode comparison for episode 14, The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow, Dungeons and Dragons Interactive Adventure, Kellex Crystal, 50 detailed characters and creatures and artifacts and profiles, short live action Dungeons and Dragons fan film choices. That's a very good episode. And Uni's fun facts and trivia, extensive gallery of original model sheets and memorabilia, radio style presentation of the unaired final episode Requiem, featuring the popular animation voice talent, including the original talent, cast member Katie Lee, who played Sheila the Thief, alternate and rare footage, DVD-ROM, includes scripts for multiple episodes and unproduced final script, trailers for more Ink and Paint stuff that came out from Ink and Paint, and of course it talks about the included stuff that we looked at just then. This was on the back of the box when you bought it, in kind of taped on the back. I saved that and put it inside the box. And that is the first set that came from Ink and Paint. The only problem with this set was that there was one episode in here, and I can't remember which one it was. One of you guys may know, I don't know, that did not include the correct soundtrack for the music in that. When Mill Creek ended up getting Ink and Paint's catalog, which included Dungeons and Dragons, they fixed that error when they released their set. Now, this is not the actual DVD cover. Let me show you guys what that cover actually looked like. That cover actually looked like this. What I ended up doing, I ended up making my own cover because I wanted to combine the red box cover with the original D&D logo instead of this logo, which I think was actually used in some promotional artwork for the cartoon series when it came out. But I did make my own cover for this. Here it is, and otherwise it's almost the same cover as that other one. But instead of 5 discs, this set included the entire animated series on 3 discs with no special features. So I ended up having to get 2 sets. I had a complete set because of that. Let's go back to the chat real quick and see what folks are talking about.
Just to let folks know, I looked it up.
Here.
Amazon is currently selling the DVDs for the game, or for the cartoon, but they're selling them in 9 episode sets. So you have to buy 3 separate sets, but they're about $10 each. So they are available, but it's stripped down, just the episodes, no specials. If you want the fancier editions that have come out before, you're going to have to hit Evil Bay or something like that and try to catch a used copy.
Yeah. And Ian Stone brings up a good point. That may sound like an oxymoron, but there is a really good Funko of Tiamat in lieu of them releasing a Tiamat in the line. I've seen that. It doesn't look bad. I know we give Funko a bad rap, but that was a pretty good, awesome figure that they released of Tiamat. Artwork is awesome. Yes, it is. Boba Hicks and No Way Farm says the monk character creator was in the first edition, then taken out of second edition, then brought back in third. And that's all the editions I have. There were probably more editions, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm thinking that the way that little booklet looked, it looked either third edition or 3.5, kind of 3.5-ish to me. That was around the time that they took the word advanced out and just called it Dungeons and Dragons. So there was no more side by side, two different versions of the game, the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Basic D&D. If you remember when they were doing that, they eliminated all that.
Yeah,
one.
I think that was around 5th edition, and they tried to revamp it and put it all together in one system. I thought it was about the last time I played was about 5th edition.
All right, chat. Which figure do you want me to open first? Do you want to go with Venger and Dungeon Master, Hank the Ranger, Bobby the Barbarian with Uni, or Diana the Acrobat? Let me know in the chat, and we'll pick that up. And No Way Farms is correct. That was a
Looks like we're all over the board on what people want to see, but I'm voting for Uni the Unicorn. That's mine. But yeah, I'm with Bjorn. Let's do the Barbarian. Rangers are the best, according to No Way. Can't dispute that. I like the Rangers. Pretty good class. Bjorn likes the Barbarians.
We got Vic and Ranger.
Yeah.
So let's try it this way, folks. I do have a chat box open down here. Let me see if I can do a poll. All right, I'm going to put up a poll here. Which figure should we open first?
Yep, way back in the analog days of phones with cords and computers with AOL dial-up, I played a lot of D&D with the guys. After high school, after class, we'd get together and put together a campaign. The Greyhawk expansions were kind of big back then, and I think Spelljammer was pretty new. So, D&D in space, that was kind of the best of both worlds, or the worst, depending on your campaign. But yeah, it was some fun times there. And, people come up with some great storylines, a lot of stuff that folks would do for the campaigns they would come up with was a lot more entertaining than the modules that would come out. But the modules were kind of good soup starter to get you going.
Ian Sweeney says, I haven't played since 3.5. Good times. All right, so there should be a poll coming up in the chat for you guys to vote on to see which figure I should open first, and we'll just sit here and we'll chat a little while and let that poll kind of simmer a little bit. No Way Farms, Greyhawk was the best, absolutely. Greyhawk is one of my favorite of the fantasy campaign settings that was created. Of course, it was first. That goes all the way back to Gygax's Lake Geneva campaign, which was all set in Greyhawk. All of the iconic characters, Morden, Kanan, Otaluk, and all of them are there. Hence the Archway. All of Ernie Gygax's characters. Of course, Sir Robilar is from Greyhawk. The very first campaign was the Castle Greyhawk campaign, which never actually got a true release, in my opinion, in the line. Yet there have been some attempts at recreating that, but Gary's actual campaign was never done
Yeah,
commercially.
I'd say the best of the offshoots was probably the Dragonlance Chronicles. I mean, of course, the novels were excellent, but
Yeah, that
the
was
campaigns that came
Tracy.
from that were really good too. And Raven's
Yeah, that was
Loft, which was kind of
yeah,
similar.
Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman did those. Now, something interesting happened because of Dragonlance. The way a Gygaxian campaign was done, it's what we call the sandbox now, where you have an area called the sandbox, basically, that you operate in, and there's different places in the sandbox that your characters could go. Generally, they have a town or a base of operations that they go back to every day. And then there's maybe some caves over here to search for, a castle over here, some woods over here, and the characters decide which way they want to go depending upon what they want to do. Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, of course, wrote the Dragonlance novels, and that began the idea of a campaign that has a story to it with a beginning and a middle and an end. And you kind
Mhm.
of want to push the characters into certain encounters so that the storyline can progress.
Right. You can only start out, in a tavern so many times before you want to do something a little different.
Yeah. Ian Sweeney says about 80. He has about 80% of all the Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance novels. That was Ed Greenwood. Was that his name that did the Forgotten Realms? That was his home campaign, and then he brought that over, and then that became the default campaign for Dungeons and Dragons after Greyhawk was kind of abandoned. And of course, that was all to do with the Blooms when they took over as well. They wanted to divest themselves of all of Gygax as much as they could. But the Forgotten Realms was good, and it also included other campaign settings were part of the Forgotten Realms. For instance, the Oriental Adventures got moved over from Greyhawk into Forgotten Realms, and also the Al Qadim campaign, which was Arabian Nights kind of adventures,
Hmm.
tavern or jail. Yeah, we all remember the area of the slave lords set where the characters start out naked, in chains, in a dungeon, slaves dungeons, and they've got to figure out how to get out, get their equipment back, and get back in the game. That was a very interesting idea. Would you rather be trapped in D&D or Jumanji? That's an interesting question.
Oh, D&D
That's an,
definitely. The chicks
yeah,
are
I
hotter
would.
and less chance of dying by a hippopotamus. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. No Way Farm says the best game I ever played was with a dude who lived and breathed D&D, made his own world, cultures, pantheon, etc. It was a great game, good time, and that's actually what Gary intended. Was for the dungeon masters to take his tools and create their own campaign, not necessarily use the one that he was using. And I was watching Greyhawk Grognard the other day, and he had brought out the old Rogues Gallery, the original one from back in the day, that included character stats for characters like Mordenkainen and Robilar and Irak's cousin, characters that appeared in the original Lake Geneva campaign. And something interesting, at the time that supplement was released, people were still playing those characters in the Lake Geneva campaign with Gary. So the stats that you see in that are not the actual stats for the characters, because back in the day, the game was played a little adversarial, and players did not want other players to know what the stats of their characters were. That was a secret. They didn't even want them to know what magic they have in their possession or what treasure that they may have.
right, that makes
Let's see.
sense.
Baldur. Gate. I remember that. Baldur's Gate 2, one of his favorite games, Ian Sweeney. And yes. All right, let's see how that poll is going. Let me look up here at the poll. Let's see. Right now, it looks like Bobby and Uni are head and head with Binger and Dungeon Master, both at 38%, with Hank the Ranger bringing up a close third at 25%, and poor Diana getting 0 votes so far. So I've got 8 votes. Looks like 5 people in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll now, and what I want to do is I want you guys to tell me which one you want me to do first, Bobby and Uni or Avenger and Dungeon Master, because they were kind of head and head there. Let's see. So Diana, that I ought to do that just for the sake of it, since you guys left her completely. EverQuest was an OG game once all the guys moved around the globe. Yeah, I remember EverQuest.
Yeah, there was the Games Workshop Hero Quest was another pretty fun one, kind of in that same vein.
Okay, Bobby, it is. All right, so guys, we're going to start with Bobby. I'm going to go ahead and get Toy Cam up and running and get these DVDs out of the way. And I guess I'll full screen this. Here we go. And we'll take Bjorn off of there for just now. And these DVDs out of the way. And we'll start with Bobby and Uni. And I am very apprehensive as to how these figures are going to look, how they're packaged, and whether they're going to be damaged or not. All right. So to get in there, I'm going to have to use a blade. And I have a blade here. And I've got 2 pieces of tape down here on the bottom to cut open. Have a little tray in here, pull out. And we have 2 sacks full of figures. And I will push the tray back into the box. And the first little sack here has got Bobby in it. And it's closed with tape. All right. Here is Bobby. And I'm so afraid of moving any of this. Oh, I'm not moving any of this, folks. I'm not moving any of this until I heat that sucker up. But there's Bobby. Let's see if he'll stand up on his own. There we go. Now let's bring out Uni. Oh, and there's the die was inside of Uni, and here's Bobby's club. And it included a 12-sided polyhedral die. Here's Bobby's club, and here's our favorite little unicorn Uni. And there we have it, folks. Yes, Bjorn, he needs some heat. No Way Farms asked, did anyone else buy the pewter D&D miniatures back in the day? I'm not sure. I think they're in a box. I had several of those. They were lead miniatures back when I bought them, and lead was the best thing in the world for D&D figures. But of course, people being people, they like to eat leads, so they took those off the market so children wouldn't eat their figures and get lead poisoning. So let me move this box out of the way, and I guess we'll do Avenger and Dungeon Master next. So we'll move Bobby, and hope he can't stand up on his own. Stand up on your own there, Bobby. Yeah, Uni and their dice. And
Now, what was the price on these, Bill? They're running about $25 on Amazon. What'd you get them for at Walmart?
no, it was between $25 and $27 with tax. I know what we did. My wife and I split it up between our two accounts, and I got 2 figures on in my cart, and plus a Migo figure, and I spent $75, so they were like $25 each.
Okay.
So these action figures cost the same as the Superman Migo figure, which we'll look at the end of this unboxing of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. All right, so once again, to get into this, I'm going to have to cut some tape, and because they're taped here on either end of the box, so I'm going to get the old knife and cut that tape off so that I can open up. Now this box here is also supposed to include a backdrop or a diorama, so we'll see what all is included in here. We'll get that out of the box. And all right, here is the diorama. And it opens up like this. This is the back side. And Lord have mercy. All right. So there's the diorama. The end here, that one snapped off when I tried to move it out. So I'm going to fix that with tape, I guess. Oh well. So something did break. So we had this for when something broke, right? Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we got lots of stuff here. I'll start with the small package first, and it's not taped up like the others. It's actually sealed, so I'm going to have to tear it open. And this one has the Dungeon Master in it. We'll ease him on out, and he has no articulation in his legs. He has a little bit of articulation in his head. His arms have some articulation there. Here to those shoulders. The shoulder have articulation. The hands, okay, I'm gonna move that around. All right, I'm scared here. And this hand here, will it move? I'm not moving that. All right, so I'm not moving that. That's going to have to be heated. There's Dungeon Master. What else was in there with Dungeon Master? Okay, the small package is it for that one. See what else we got here. The next package is not sealed, and it has Avenger in it. And includes 2 extra hands. And that's everything that was in here. Okay, so let's look at Venger real quick. He's got some head articulation. This is all uh, hampering the movement of the figure. This PVC top here, and then he's got this long skirt on, which has some slits inside here, some cardboard to hold it together. Let me get that off there. You can see his legs underneath with his shoes and boots or whatever. And I'm just so scared of moving any of this stuff around. It feels so fragile. But let's see if he'll stand up. Yeah, okay. And he's got 2 extra hands. If you're feeling especially froggy, I guess you could try to pull his hands out without breaking these. They look very, very thin and fragile. But I guess he's got magic bolt coming out of his hands on these 2 extra hands. All right. It's terrible that you have to be afraid to move a part on a new toy because it might break. Really bad quality there. I agree, John. I agree. It's awful. I feel like I'm opening NECA figures at this point. These packages make me think of MREs. Yeah. Yeah, Shaitan. It's never good if you can't touch a figure. I mean, I want to play with these figures. These were the figures that I always wanted to have years and years ago. Okay, there's a package inside of a package. And also in here are Venger's wings. Okay. So that's it for this one. Shaitan's Hammer says it kind of makes me not bugged by rubbery plastic, which, yeah, I know. So it's a shame that I'm frightened to play with these toys. There's a hole in his bag, and then this is supposed to go inside this hole. And oh my word, that's real hard to go in that hole. There it goes. Okay, it went all the way in. Very good. All right, so there's Venger's wings. And small package, I assume, has got the die in it. The die. See what else is in here. 2 polyhedral dies. We have the 20-sided die, which has the and from Dungeons and Dragons on it for some reason. So I don't know what number they. Maybe that's the 8 right there. I don't know what number they replaced the and with. You guys got a clue? I mean, it's weird. And of course, it's got a dot in the corner of some of the numbers that could be considered, upside. That's a 9 and not a 6, and that's a 6 and not a 9. So that's how they differentiate. And these are big dice. And here's a percentile dice. And this one here has got the zeros on it. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll take this out of the way. And I guess I'll put it back in the box. Goes this way. All right, so I'll put the cardboard insert back in the box. And we'll go Hank next. So here's Hank. And once again, there's a couple of pieces of tape down here on the bottom that's got to be cut. There we go. Looks like he's got an 8-sided die in his box with him. Let's see if we can get this to open without tearing. Ooh. That box open. Oh, there we go. Got it. I want to try to save these packages because I'm just going to end up putting them right back in here, I'm afraid. Oh, there went my backdrop. There went Bobby. Everything fell. Move the backdrop back here to Castle Grayskull. There we go. Danger back here in the corner. Dungeon Master. Bobby don't like to stand for some reason. See if I can move his foot around a little bit and get him to stand on his own.
Did they have peg holes for putting them on foot stands?
Can you see the bottom of his feet there, Largo?
I can. Yep, looks like there's some peg holes there. I'm not sure what size stand would work, but that
I
might be
think a
something.
standard neck stand will probably do the job. Matter of fact, I've got a WWE stand here that I think it'll fit right on. There we go.
Yeah, for the premium price, they're asking. You'd think they could throw in a stand, that at least something, knowing that these figures have tiny feet.
You would think. All right, so we got our dice set going here. All right. Get back down to it here. I'm going to go ahead and start with this packet here. It's taped shut. It's not sealed like the Avenger Dungeon Master bags were. And inside here are accessories, is what it looks like. We have an energy bow with arrow. We have the energy bow with no arrow. And this one is clear. It's kind of translucent. And this one is just yellow and it's opaque. It's not translucent at all. And we have our 8-sided die here. So that's that one. And inside the next sack, which is also taped shut here at the top, and pull that tape loose, we have Hank. This one's the one that Pixel Dan got broke straight out of the package. Mine is intact. His hand is not broken, so lucky me. He's tight. He's pigeon-toed, and I want to move that boot. He's got boot cut up here at the top here. There's a boot cut there, but it's so tight, I'm afraid to move that. Oh, boy. That's going to have to be heated up before I even decide to try to move that. So he's going to look kind of goofy, all pigeon-toed here.
Yep, you're going to have to borrow Paula's hairdryer for a minute, I think.
I think you're right, and I think I'm going to do that. I want to finish what I've started here, and once I get all the figures open, we'll play some commercials or something, and I'll run go get her hairdryer and bring it down here.
Shaitan's Hammer asks, do the accessories feel as fragile as the figures? Are they kind of flimsy? Are they warped? Or it didn't look terrible.
Yeah, I'm afraid that if I actually started really bending around on this, it probably would snap, but it's kind of a flexible, kind of rubber feel plastic here. This one here feels a little more substantial than the clear one there. So, and the club is actually kind of it's got a little give to it down here at the bottom. I guess you can see that kind of move in there, but
Yep.
It's pretty substantial. So.
I think the one I'd be most concerned with is the Barbarian's staff, or the Acrobat staff. If it's
And that's the last one in the in this particular wave I'm going to open. And I do have the last 3 figures: Presto the Magician, Eric the Cavalier, and Sheila the Thief. Pre-order from Entertainment Earth. We'll see how long it takes for them to come in, because it says they're coming out in August. So it's several months before those figures will be available. and I'm pretty sure that once they come out, that's going to be it for this line. I bet they don't release anything else to go with this. It would be nice to get some monsters and perhaps Tiamat or something like that, but I don't hold out any hope.
Yeah, the way things are going, you'd have to get a HasLab to get a Tiamat. And that's just
that I would.
mess.
Yeah, you're right. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and open the accessory pack. Slamming into my table here. All right, so let's open up the accessory pack, and we have 2 javelins in here, plus a polyhedral die. There we go. And this is another 20-sided die. Another 20-sided die. It's a smaller 20-sided die. It's not. This is a huge one here. So I'm not sure what die, but there we go. And we have the regular javelin, and it's flexible plastic, kind of bendy. And then here we have the one with the magic whooshes on it, and it's kind of discolored here on either end, and I don't know if that's purposeful or not, but I think it's purposeful the way it looks. So I guess this looks like she's twirling.
Yeah, World Made of Cardboard asked about the quality of the dice. Do they feel like they're weighed right, or are they just kind of?
They're not. They're not bad.
Well, I would guess the larger D20 is supposed to symbolize the Dungeon Master's D20. The other one's supposed to be for the player.
Say that again, larger. I missed it. The larger.
My guess would be the larger D20 is supposed to represent the Dungeon Master, and then the other one is for the player character. If there's any rhyme or reason to any of this set.
All right. And she's pigeon-toe, and that is tight. That's tight. I'm not moving that at all. Her face sculpt looks beautiful. I love that. Oh man, I'm not moving any of this. Okay. All right.
I'd have
so
to
we
say,
got everybody open.
Based on your experiences, the recent NECAs are probably less fragile than the current Hasbros because of their QC issues. Which is
well, the thing
seems like they're going backwards.
The thing is, normally I would probably put a little more pressure on those to try to move them, but because I already know that these things are apt to break, I'm afraid to do that. So, yeah, I'll run go get a hairdryer and see if we can heat them up a little bit and see if we can get some movement going in them if you guys want to. Let me get back onto my main cam here. What I might do, play some. Hey, Wilhelm, what's going on? Here's your choice. While I run go get the hairdryer, Largo, if you want to try to bring Will in, you can, or I can play some commercials. What do you think would be best there, Largo?
Might as well just go ahead and put some commercials on for a minute and give that a shot.
All right, what we hear some old-timey commercials. Sure, you guys have seen these commercials a dozen million times. I've got 4 sets, so I'll just play the first set that I made back in the day. Here we go.
And now these messages. the big guy with the muscles?
He's He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Skeletor is his enemy.
Here's He-Man, Skeletor, and Castle Grayskull. You have to put the castle together.
You're doomed, He-Man.
Oh, yeah? Watch this action, Dad. Now I have the power.
He-Man and Skeletor each sold separately. Castle Grayskull also sold separately from the Masters of the Universe collection from Mattel.
As evening approaches Toothopolis, so do the cavity creeps.
Oh, no! Cavity creep!
Hurry, the crest's up.
Cavity creep spotted.
We made holes in teeth.
Press the Florist can will fix them.
Not crest!
Yay! Crest!
Watch treats
See your dentist.
and fight the cavity creeps like the Crest team.
Fight cavities with Crest.
All right. Got back just in time. Got the hair dryer. Let's see if we can get this to work. First, I got to find a plug-in for the hair dryer. So I have to decide what I'm going to end up unplugging. Let's see if there's a plug-in. There's one right there I can use. All right.
And it all goes horribly, horribly wrong. Well, it looks like Bill might have unplugged something.
Oh my God.
Well, we can hear you, Bill, but we've lost your picture. Yep. Kind of sort of saw him there for a second.
All right. Yeah. Very precarious back there in the back. And I've got cord going everywhere here, and I've got my hair dryer. So I guess I'll start with Hank here. Get some heat going.
Well, while he's working on that, I'll show off the Mofex Spider-Man. I'm getting ready to do a review on him. I've just opened him up and started tinkering around with it. Pretty good. Good articulation. I got so tired of dealing with Hasbro, and every 5 minutes they put out another Spidey, and none of them are quite right, or you got to buy 3 of them to get all the accessories you want. This guy comes with a lot of webs. He's got his toe articulation. He also comes with magnetic hands and feet that you can put on him if you want to stick him to your fridge or if you have a metal shelf somewhere. He does have the larger eyes, which is kind of more of a 90s style, but he's got the classic blue and red. So yeah, there'll be a review up on Largo's Lair sometime in the near future, as soon as I get around to filming that. But overall, fairly impressed with it at the moment. Details good, articulation is really good, and unlike some of the Hasbro offerings, nothing wobbly, nothing wonky, and so far so good. I'll let you guys know when I do the review, and we'll see how that goes. So let's check on Bill and see how he's doing. And I can't hear you. Oh, he's got sound turned off. There he is. Nope. Yep.
I'm working on Diana right now, guys. Got Hank's legs freed up. All right, Diana's boots are moving now, and I need to work on her upper body, her arms, to see if her knees are working. The double jointed knees, folks, not bad, not bad. The feet go up and down and have a little rocker articulation on them, just a little bit there. But I'm still afraid to move her arms, so I'm gonna put the hair dryer back on, get ready to hear it, and try to fix up her knees. Let's get this other side light on here. Here we go.
Yeah, Wilhelm just did a review of some of the new Spider-Mans that are coming out in the 1/18th scale, new kids line that looks pretty cool. So I recommend you guys go check that out on his channel. Pretty good review of what's coming out to replace some of the other Marvel Legends Kenner style 5 POAs that they have retired or resting, whatever they're calling it these days. So yeah, there's a couple of good things coming out. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come when it comes to Hasbro and the smaller scales for guys that like those, that aren't into the 6-inch stuff. No spider envy there. No, he likes the smaller scale stuff, so he's good to go.
All right, guys. I got Hank's boots freed up. I got Diana's shoes freed up. I got their elbows and their knees freed up. They do move. What I did notice when I was working on this elbow over here on Diana, I could see some stress in there, and that scared me a whole lot. Once I got it heated up and I got it kind of bent just a little bit, I didn't want to move it anymore because I could feel that. I could see the discoloration from the stress on the plastic. So
apparently they're using some new factory to assemble these. It's different from what they do with Marvel Legends. That has to be
they're doing, whatever they're doing, they're not doing it right.
Yeah.
That factory, yeah, you're right. The factory's messed up. Let's see if we can't get Bobby moving around a little bit. Maybe he can stand on his own once I get his joints freed up. Once I do Bobby here, I'm just going to go ahead and try to see if I can find my dice back here in the back, and we'll look at some dice and then move on.
Well, the sculpts look nice, if nothing else. They do look like their cartoon counterparts. It's just unfortunate that they didn't put out all of them at the same time, considering it's such a limited amount of figures. You'd almost Kind of wish they'd just done one big box set and be done with it. Well, this is definitely the curiosities of modern toy collecting, having to do a lot of prep work before you can even fool with new figures. It's not cool. Fortunately, in my favorite line, that has gone away, even with some of their newer female figures that were a little stiff coming out. Other than applying a little heat for cautionary measures, Valaverse has pretty much got things dialed in. Parts are good, no breakages, and yeah, I'm liking the line. I'm liking what they're doing. And whatever factory Bobby's been using, they're doing a good job and dialing things in pretty well. So some of the littler guys are doing a better job than the big factories these days. And the David and Goliath references in that is not lost on me. I kind of like seeing some of these smaller groups that are coming up and making good toys, showing up the big companies with the deep pockets, because it just shows that if you have passion for what you're doing, you can put out a quality product. Whereas a corporation, something gets lost in translation these days, as we're seeing with what's happening here. It's a good concept, but when you make toys by committee instead of having artists and sculptors working together with a passion, you get what you get. So,
All right,
kind of where we
I
are
got
these
the
days.
figures freed up. Got their got their elbow. I'm still kind of lagging here, but yeah, I had a hell of a time with Bobby's elbows. But I was afraid I was going to break them as well, but I finally got them heated up enough. And Jordan's right; this shouldn't be necessary, but yeah, Bobby's in the sauna loosening up, says Gojatron. Yeah, and I'll probably go to Dungeon Master and do him, but I'm not going to do him to right here on camera and everything. I did want to address the dice issue. I think I can get to a dice bag back over here, and we'll try to compare these dice with a actual set of polyhedral dice from back in the day. Let me see if I can get over there to it without knocking everything winding. Oh, here we go. I see it. I see exactly what I want. Right here. Oh.
Black Knight's in the house. Good afternoon.
Hey,
just looking at some of
Black
the
Knight, how's it going, man? Good to have you here.
Take a look at some of the newer D&D stuff.
Walden Books. I was trying to remember the name of the bookstore that did the giveaway on these dice bags. If you bought TSR merchandise, they would give you a dice bag, and that would be Walden Books back in the day. And that's where I got this dice bag from. And inside are a couple of sets of polyhedral dice that were my go-to dice back in the day.
Nice to see Rolando. Will Made a
right.
Cardboard asks if anybody's rushing out to get the new D&D movie figures. That'd be a big fat no for me. I do not have much hope for this film
I
being
saw them.
any better than the last few turkeys they
Yeah.
put out.
Yeah, I saw them on the shelf there at the old Walmart, and I didn't even bother looking at them too much. All right, so 3 sets of dice. I think that this set here is an actual TSR set of dice from back in the day. This colored set, can't remember where I got those from. And then, of course, this was my favorite set here. So we'll compare. All right, here's a 20-sided die from the Dungeons and Dragons figure set, and comparing with the actual die, looks about the same. The numbers
Yeah, I
are
agree with Bjorn. You shouldn't have to do this much prep. If kids are buying these, they should be ready to play with out of the box. But I don't know who they're
accurate.
marketing these towards these days.
See, here's the 8-sided die here. Comparison. And interesting how the numbers don't correspond. And here's the percentile dice. Back in the day, we just had one number on them. So this, I think there's going to be another die like this, another 10-sided die that's going to have single-digit numbers. So this one here is your 10s, and this one here would be your 1s. We just used 2 of these back in the day. So there's your comparison on the dice, folks. Goju trying to ask if that big dragon from the movie line hits clearance. I may grab it. I got a thing for big monsters. Yeah, I saw that dragon at Walmart, and it was peeking out of its little package, and but I kind of passed on him. But yeah, he's a pretty big boy. I don't know if you're going to have to do as much prep work on him as I did on these figures, but yeah, it's kind of scary when you're sitting there afraid that your figures are going to break. But there we go, and put these dice up back in their bag. These were my gaming dice from back in the day.
Well, hopefully your Migo experience will be better than your D&D experience.
I hope so. We're going to open up Superman last of all here and bring him out and get these dice put away. There we go. I love this dice bag. I wish it had the old school TSR logo on it instead of this one, but that's okay. And get back here and get old Soups out.
Will wants to know if you can explain to hit armor class 0.
Yes, I can. To hit armor class 0 is a number that once you know, all you have to do is add or subtract to find out what you need to roll to hit any character's armor class.
There you go.
It's very simple. Once you figure out that you don't need a table anymore, all you need to know is to hit armor class 0. Once you know a character's to hit armor class 0, then you can either add or subtract depending upon what its opponent's armor class is to see what you need to roll to hit that without having to consult a table. So
yep.
yeah,
World Made a Cardboard said that where they've placed the end cap for the D&D movie figures, they basically got it facing the back wall next to the camping equipment. So even even the way they have it set up in the store, they're not expecting these to be flying off the shelves.
Yeah, I didn't see that particular gap at mine. All I saw was the little section where the cartoon figures were, and there were a couple of movie figures up above it. Oh, we got some Mego too? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm opening it now. It's Superman. And here he is. And he's got these little tabby things that I'm going to have to end up cutting.
Yeah, these 8-inch figures have gone through an interesting evolution. I mean, Mego stopped for a while, and then Figures Toy Company started putting out some of the retro style, and now Mego's back at it. So, be interesting to see the newer Mego body style. Go ahead.
Whatever happened to Figures Toy Company? They had the actual Mego molds at one time.
Well, they are doing wrestling figures mostly now. I believe once Mego decided to get back into the 8-inch toy figure arena, they got those licenses back somehow, or not exactly sure how that worked. But most of what the Figures Toy stuff is now is just wrestling.
I was noticing that when Mego got back in the game, their body styles weren't like the old school style like this Superman here is, and I was wondering if that was because they were trying to get stuff on the market and they couldn't get the molds from Figures Toy Company, or what that was about.
Well, I think they're trying to improve. I mean, like Goji said, they're not using the elastics inside to hold the articulation together anymore. So I think this is an update to the original designs.
I'm curious now. I've got Superman free from his bondage, and let's see what he looks like. Old plastic boots, just like the old boots. Feel a little more rubbery than the old ones did, not quite as brittle. The cape is made out of ribbon material, just like the old capes were, with some elastic bunch up here. Looks like it's been sewed inside of the costume up here at the top. The S is a sticker.
Is it an actual sticker, or is it actually a iron-on type emblem? Or
no, it's a sticker, bud. It's a sticker. I could peel this off if I wanted to, and it's even got
just like the old ones. That's unfortunate. I think with Figures Toy Company, they upped that a little bit and actually ironed them on. Yeah. But again, these are supposed to be the retro style, so they're trying to emulate what came before.
Yeah, and I can feel that joint kind of tight in there, but he moves at the elbows. He's got some knee articulation. Once again, I'm not. There we go. I'm not gonna move him around too much, but yeah, he moves at the knees. He's got the waist articulation.
Yeah, Goji's saying they're still selling DC figures over at Figures Toy, but they're a lot more spendy than the Megos. But maybe the quality is a little different too. I haven't really experimented with those much.
The cloth on the costume feels a little interesting. It doesn't feel quite as thick as the cloth I remember on the old Mego figures. But there's Superman. Let's see if he'll stand up by himself over here. Yeah, he stands up. He's probably going to go right back in this package when I get done today. Here's the package. Superman at the top. This sticker here is a foil, kind of a, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says 50th anniversary Mego. World's greatest superheroes is what this sticker here says.
Right.
And on the side here, we've got 8-inch action figure posing in any action position. Got Aquaman, Green Arrow, and Shazam, Captain Marvel. In the back, we've got World's Greatest Superheroes at the top. Superman, Batman, Robin, recommended for collectors over 17 years of age. Interesting. Superman. So they don't get with this. I don't get it. Okay. Superman, Batman, and Robin. And there you have it, folks. Not suitable for
Yes.
children under 6 months, says the choking hazard on the bottom. Okay. All right, then. Kind of takes care of that. Let's see. Gojitron says Figures Toy did a better Batman 66 line than McFarlane, in my opinion. They got deep into the Rogues Gallery with King Tut, Bookworm, Egghead, and Shame. Yeah, I remember that. War Made of Cardboard. I'm very tempted by those Mego figures. They are what I grew up with. Me too. Me too. They were those and GI Joes were and Lone Ranger. All my first action figures, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, Nolan has already gotten into this line. He's got Batman, Robin,
All
and the
right.
Joker.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I wasn't really going to buy the Mego figures at all, the retro figures, but when I saw that Superman at Walmart, I just and it was only $20. Right into the buggy it went.
Yeah. I'm kind of putting together a nostalgia shelf. I've got a reissue Adventure Team Fuzzy Head G.I. Joe, and I kind of need a Mego to go over there too, because those were the two big lines when I was a kid that I played with. I might have to pick one of those up.
Yeah, I was when I was bending my diorama back around. Pull that toy cam up again. When I was pulling that diorama, this part here snapped off the diorama. It was almost like it was cut, meant to snap there. So I don't know if I want to try to repair that with some tape or just leave it like it is. What do you think, Largo?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, if it ain't if it isn't like torn, damaged, I'd probably just leave it be and figure out how you're going to display it. But yeah, it's something.
I hear Eduardo back there. He's making a lot of noise today.
Oh yeah, he's in fine form. Yeah, got to have Super Friends if you're going to do a Mego style set. Be interesting to see how they do the retro Wonder Woman. I'm sure that'll
Yeah,
come
it's
out.
different.
Now, the ones that Figures Toy Company did a few years ago, I mean, they did the actual Super Friends Hanna-Barbera animated style, head sculpts, the whole 9 yards, and those were really nice.
Talking about
They're
Figures
still
Toy
available. Mm-hmm. They're a little spendy now, but you can still pick them up if you really want them.
Yeah, they
I opted
did.
to go with the Mattel DC Universe line to kind of build those up.
Yeah, the Figures Toy Company, they even did like Hawkman and stuff like that was never ever done.
Yeah, the Hawkman looks really nice. I believe Goji has that one. But yeah, that's a hard one to find these days. Apparently, it was a short production run on it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to try to unplug my wife's hair dryer real quick, Largo. Uh, if I end up unplugging things and going black here for a minute, you'll know what happened. So here I go, folks. Ugh.
Let's see. No Way's asking, did anyone else know when the DM was going to wipe the party? And if so, th- and if so, what did they bring in? Well, I guess it depends on the DM you had. Most of the fellas that I played with, the DMs were fairly reasonable. But yeah, if we did anything so completely boneheaded that it messed up the campaign, he might bring in the fickle finger of doom to whack us about.
What was that called? TPK, Total Party Kill.
Yeah.
Uh, It kind of reminds me of the old Warhammer 40. Was it 40K or it was a video game. What was that video game called? Anyway, it was one of the characters went running off into the dungeon, and everybody ran behind him, and then they all got killed. And it was all over the internet there at one time. Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, Nolan. Figures Toy Company did the Adam West style '66 Batman line, and they also did the Super Friends, and then they also did some of the retro style as well. So they were kind of all over the place with
And
the DC brand.
they released the original Mego Batcave in the Figures toy line, and then they took that design and they released a Batman 66 Batcave that was even better. Do you remember that one?
Hmm.
I've got that
Yeah,
Batcave.
they also did some kind of miniature ones that were like the Hall of Justice. They did a Legion of Doom, um, kind of fold out with that same laminated
Mhm.
cardboard style that they did in the old days. So they did some neat
World
stuff.
of Warcraft, yeah. That was World of Warcraft. Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, the character was named Leroy Jenkins. He got him some chicken wings, and he said, and when he came back, everybody was sitting there planning how they were going to meticulously go in and attack the bad guy. And he comes back in, he goes, "I got my chicken wings, Leroy Jenkins," and he took off into the dungeon, and everybody ran after him, and they all got killed. Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of everything that I had planned for today. If you guys didn't watch last night's show, there was a lot of interesting things that happened on there, and I guess I need to apologize to Will at Wilhelm Toy and Hobby. I subjected him to the three goth boys dancing to the Dance Dance Revolution version of Spray's "I Am Gothic," and that didn't go over nearly as well as I thought it would. I thought everybody would laugh at it and think it was hilarious, and I think I hurt Will's feelings by just even showing that. I hate that, Will, and I apologize deeply to you for that. I hope you'll forgive me for subjecting you to that and taking those few minutes of your life away, never to return.
One could consider that cruel and unusual punishment in some countries, but Will's laughing about it. Yeah, Aaron, I heard something similar to that. Rumor has it that I might be showing up on a very hella dope type show later this evening, hanging out with some
Mm.
swell and cool cats, sipping some interesting elixirs and talking toys and whatnot.
Do they
So
still reserve down there in Guatemala?
I don't have any steel reserve, but I did get something nice for the "What You're Sipping" segment. So you'll have to tune in to check that out.
Yeah, but the thing is that they kept calling this nasty blob of concoction that they were slathering on those pieces of bread tuna rare bit, and there is no such thing.
Apparently, there was at one time, but hopefully that breed of tuna is no longer available because it looked pretty funky.
And even No Way agrees that was a troubling video. Okay, well, all right. So I was thinking of next week doing Smiles Little Butterfly. I won't do that now. You can find that on your own.
Fair enough.
I think I'll live more more of these
Oh,
educational videos. Okay, I can go with that. I can go with that.
right. And Goji's correct. Tomorrow, Goji and Grindhead will be showing up on the lair after Toy Grinds. We'll be premiering a new show on the lair with some special guests.
Yeah, yeah. And what we got here? All you need on your bread is some real Irish butter.
Hmm.
Okay. That looked like that looked like a whole block of butter that she threw down into that saucepan,
Oh
along with
yeah.
a looked like a cup of milk, She chopped up some looked like a block of American cheese. She chopped up and throw it in there. Uh,
It was
and
interesting.
then a can of tuna fish, and it looked like it was the kind in heavy oil. And she didn't even drain the oil off. She just dumped the can down in there. And then after that all bubbled up together. Then she slathered it on those bread slices, and then they put Tabasco sauce on there.
It was definitely different. Thank you, Will. He's popping some references in here. Hella dope. I think we're on it. Is it 8 or 9 with the time difference? I'm not sure. I think it's 9 Eastern. But if you go on over there, you can check the posting on that. And yep, at the lair tomorrow we'll be popping in with Gojitron and Grindhead and see what's going on there. So
Well, tuna fish salad used government cheese, according to Gojitron.
I don't know. I think the I think the Majestic Tiger was probably less traumatizing than the Goth Boys dancing to Dance Dance Revolution. But it, your mileage may vary.
And if you don't have a bowel movement after 2 weeks after the tuna, you may have been deployed. That's a reference to MREs. If you eat too many of those, it stops you completely up. Hey, Duffman's Dioramas. Speaking of Duffman's Dioramas, tell us how you're doing, sir. We know you've been going through some troubles lately, and you're all in our thoughts and prayers. Shaitan's Hammer says we should use sharp cheddar cheese when we make our tuna fish rare open face sandwiches. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Motu Joneser says that he's up for eating that. So I'm curious to whether he actually makes that nasty mess and actually eats it.
Braver man than I.
There we go. And everybody's saying hey to Duffman. He's saying hey back. So yeah, that kind of brings us towards the end of today's show. We did a pretty good show, I think, for a little over an hour, 30 minutes. If there's anything you guys want to see real quick before I actually take it off the air, let me know real quick. We'll sit here and chat a little bit and catch up with some of the guys that just showed up. I'm curious how Duffman's doing over there. I know, like I said, he's been going through it. And I caught the last bit of the 24-hour live stream for the benefit for the children this morning. They actually went over and above their goal, which I think was 1,500, and they actually got 2,500, and they got that right in the last. They got the last little bit right in the last half an hour, and here we go. More cringe music videos.
Don't encourage him. Don't do it.
Duffman says, thank you, doing good, still searching for a place to live. It's proving to be a tedious process, a lot of dead ends, but still staying positive. Thank you. All right. World Made of Cardboard. Did the D&D figures survive the live stream? Yes, they have survived. They are intact. We got the hair dryer out, and we heated them up, got the joints moving. And I pretty much got them posed how they'll stay for the rest of their lives. They're going back in their packages for now. So maybe someday I'll put a display up in here once I get some more room or some shelf space to put them out, and I'll display them. But certainly not going to be playing with these figures. I'm just afraid.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Boba wants to know: is your the new show going to be live or pre-recorded?
This show is going to be pre-recorded. I will be live in the premieres, but because the guests are coming from all over the globe, it's just easier to schedule recording ahead of time because everybody's on a different time zone. So,
And that's going to be a video premiere, or are you going to do a kind of a combination of live and pre-recorded like you and Will do?
No, we'll keep that format for the AF3. For the new show, it'll be just strict premiere, and I'll be in the chat with everybody while we're showing the pre-recorded.
Okay. And last night, I did a video with T-Law and Fisto singing an old sea shanty called the Drunken Sailor, which is a takeoff of Melinda Music's version of that, and how that's kind of blowed up on the internet here a while back. And I've got the full video of that will be available on this channel as a premiere midweek around Wednesday. And we also did one with Merman and Triclops and Evil Lynn, and they were singing the sea shanty Sally Brown, and that one will premiere not this week but next week, probably around Wednesday. So I've got some stuff there for you guys to watch. And what's nice about the sea shanties, I think, because they seem to be popular, is that maybe they'll get multiple watches, so people will come back and watch them over and over again. I released the first 15 seconds of the Drunken Sailor as a short. That one has done better than any short that I've ever put up at one time. However, it's got the like ratio is at 75%. So there were some people that didn't like it.
Well, I think No Way has an idea, because rumor has it No Way Farms is too sexy for his shirt. He's thinking maybe a little Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred. I don't have Too Sexy by Drop Dead Fred in my repertoire here, but now you make
my shirt. Too sexy for
now.
my shirt.
Now you make
so
me want
sexy it hurts. Yeah,
thank
I
you,
like
Margo. Now we got to do that music video. That
indeed.
I think that
with the karaoke coming soon.
I Drop Dead.
Right said
can't
Fred.
please everyone, says Wilhelm. Right said Fred. There we go. Right said Fred. It sounds more likely to me, because that video and one time when it first got released, it was everywhere and it just kept spreading.
Indeed. Yeah, Boba Hicks definitely enjoyed the Irish dancing from Evil Lynn. So maybe a little river dance, something in the future would be nice.
The Evil Lynn. I don't know if you caught that last bit that I said. I said, well, while she was dancing, she kept moving the table around behind her, and I kind of wished I'd taken my time a little bit longer. Shay Dance Hammer, T-Law Lounge Singing Playlist. Yeah. All right. Well, I pretty much come to the end of what I got. You got anything else there, Largo, before we say good journey to everybody?
No, sir. I just got to clean up the lair so it's presentable tonight. I don't have anything else going on right now, but hope everybody has a good Sunday. What's left of it.
All right. Well, yeah, and like we said earlier, Largo's got that premiere coming out. That's Monday, right? Right after Grindhead Jim's show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll all be checking that out when it comes. We appreciate you guys coming in tonight, and have a good journey.
Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.